Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Joni Misiak. Today, let's talk about following your passion. What does that look like? Why is it important to follow what you love? And I'm not talking about this is not about an episode where it's like, okay, once it's over, go quit your job and go follow your passion. Now, maybe down the line, you might replace what you're doing right now with something you love even more. But that's not what this episode is about. This episode is about just bringing more life and excitement and just love for your life into your life. So when you do something you love, you bring more love and more awesomeness into your life. And it can be your career, but it might not be. So I find when I'm not doing something I love for a long period of time, I lose this pep in my step, zest for life. I lose this just motivation to just go and seize the day kind of thing. So I take breaks off, like spring break with my kids and summer breaks and things like that. And I find if I don't have little pockets of time where I go and work, and it's not that maybe I am a workaholic. No, I'm not really, because I do take time, but I really love what I do. And if I'm not doing it for 2 months or even 2 weeks, if I don't do anything for myself or the community and I'm focusing more on being a mom, I kind of get I don't want to say depressed, but I lose sense of purpose in life. I love my children and I love being a mom. But if I go all that direction, then I feel like I'm losing, like I said, a pep in my step, zest for life. And it doesn't mean that I can't go on holidays and go have fun. I will, I do that. And I go do other things. But it's really interesting that when I, don't do the things I love that bring me joy and meaning to life, I, lose, that spark. Even when I am doing something that does fill me up in a different way. But it's only filling me up partly. It's just even if you love what you do as a job and you do it 24/7 and you're not allowing other things, because that job is giving you fulfillment, but there's other areas of your life that you might want to feel fulfilled in. So it's finding this little balance, right? So I love being a mom. I love having children and I love being with my kids. I love the fact that I can be flexible and take time off when they have breaks and stuff from school. The thing is, though, there's more than just, for me anyways, there's more than just being a mom. There's this giving back. And same with if you have a passion of work, if that's all you're doing, you're not taking time for you to slow down and just recheck in with yourself or having other aspects of your life. So it's finding this balance of having different passions. And it's not just putting about all passion in one area of your life and not looking at the other areas. So it might be, though, that you want to have a little bit more passion in your career. And it's figuring out what you love to do. So what lights you up? What gets you excited about life? What would be oh, that is the most amazing job ever. And it might not necessarily be something you go and get a career with at the moment. Maybe it's a way of finding somehow where you can volunteer or put effort in, or maybe it's a part-time job. I'm not saying it's all or nothing. Like I said, this episode is not about quit your job today and, follow your passion. But it's looking at what lights you up, gets you excited about doing something. And then maybe at some point in your life, it can transition into a career. But today, I'm really just sharing about focusing on your passion to bring more passion, excitement, and love into your life. And that can be, like I said, a career change, but it can also be in different areas of your life as well, where you can do volunteer work or a part-time job. Maybe, you start your own little business that, does a little bit of that. But when we don't follow what lights us up, when we don't do the things that we're passionate about, it feels like we're missing something. That joy, that excitement. And it doesn't mean that our lives aren't whole and complete now, but it just means that maybe there's something else out there that really does give you a little extra excitement in your life, a little bit more joy than what is right now. I'm all about enjoying what we already have in our life and being grateful. So I want to, acknowledge that. But today is about maybe there's just that little something that you're like, I wish I had a little bit more excitement in my life. So it's following what you're passionate about. So I'd love you to ask yourself, what do you love to do? What do you love to do? Like if you didn't have to work all day, pay the bills and all that stuff, what would you love to do? And then it's finding more time in your day to do that. And maybe it's not a lot of time, but it's a little. Because the thing is, when you're passionate about something and you absolutely love it, it makes you so happy. If you're not doing it, you're not feeling that happiness and stuff. And then it doesn't get to spill over in the rest of your life. Because the fun thing is when we do stuff in our life that makes us happy, that brings us joy, it spills over into other areas of our lives. So maybe you don't love your job, but if you're doing something outside of your job, your career, you're doing something that excites you, it can spill into your job. I remember when I was working in this warehouse and I did not love my job, but it was a job that was paying my bills. I knew I had money coming in. It wasn't great money, but it was money, right? It was a paycheck at the end of every week. And, the hours were great. It wasn't great for not a morning person, but I made it work. Anyways, so I was doing this job, but then I was also going to the gym. And in fact, I was going way too often. I was going like 7 days a week to the point where the manager's like, maybe you should take, an instructor course. And I did because I loved working out. And I loved, teaching classes and things like that. So I actually did that. And then I ended up working for a friend of mine who owned a dance studio and also had fitness classes. So it was only open in the evenings, which was great because it lined up with my day job. But it wasn't something that I could work on like all the time and have enough to pay. But I was doing something that I loved, teaching classes, teaching fitness, and it was really great. So it's finding like your joys and stuff like that. Like I loved laying out the class. Like I love planning out the classes and teaching the classes. It really brought me a lot of joy. So sometimes we don't do the thing that we love full time, but we can bring it into our life in different ways. And that was just one thing that brought me joy. Like along the line, I found other ways. Like a big one for me. And when I was, so torn, I went to school for fashion design. I, was selling skincare products and I was teaching fitness classes. Like I felt pulled in so many different directions. And I was like, oh, I just want to help women. Like, so how do I do this? Like I felt just so pulled. And I was laying down in meditation and it was through the Hay House radio. This was years and years ago. And then I heard a commercial for becoming an empowerment coach. I'm like, that's it. So here I am today doing the thing I love. And it really comes down to, I just love helping women live lives as full as they can, supporting them through the hard times, knowing that they're not alone. I felt very alone in a lot of my life, my journey. Not anymore, but I did. And it has been an incredible journey. So sometimes we just have to ask the simple question of like, what do I do next? Or like, what can I do? Like, I just remember asking myself that question. Like, I feel so overwhelmed. And I feel like I was going in so many directions. And I just laid there going, what can I do? So you can just slow down today if you try. It can be hard to slow down. But what do you love to do? What do you love to do? And at this moment, you don't even need to think about how it fits into your day. You can just think about, what do you love to do? And then down the line, like once you have that question and it's, percolating, you can be like, okay, am I doing enough of that in my day, my week, my month, my year? And if the answer is no, how do I start doing more of that in my life? And it's starting small, and it can slowly grow and grow. Like today, I don't see myself teaching fitness classes again because I still love working out, but I don't want to push people like that anymore. I love to still teach. I really love planning the lessons, being a part of something, helping people move their bodies in loving ways. So now I'm doing yoga. So, sometimes we change and grow, and that's okay. Our passions can change. They can kind of just, remember mine is as simple as I love helping women. And then that can get a little crazy, right? Because, well, that's pretty vague. But I love helping people because I know how it is to feel like crap, to feel lonely, to feel so disempowered, to feel worthless, to feel just like lost in this world of stuff, right? So I love to help guide and empower and inspire and motivate and encourage people to live their best lives. And that might look different day to day because any given day, you could be going through something different. Life might have thrown you a curveball and then you had to adjust and change. So we are constantly growing and changing, and that's amazing. And our passions may grow and change too. But the thing is, it's really important to follow your passion. And even if that's what you're doing as a hobby after work, it's doing what you love so it can spill over in the rest of your life. I think back to when we moved here on the coast, and I put my business not completely on hold, but I went really down a couple hours a day, or actually a couple hours a week, because my son was home and we didn't have him in daycare or anything like that. So I was home with him all day, every day. And I started to feel, one, discouraged, but just like mopey, watching too much TV, not really having any direction in life, not really having any goals, just getting up, same old kind of thing, like kind of in a rut. And it didn't feel good. And then I realized I need to do something different because I don't feel good. I'm not excited about life as much as I loved having morning snuggles with my son and getting to spend that extra year with him. There were some really amazing things, but I was missing passion in my life, excitement. And then I couldn't be the parent I wanted to be because I was just kind of like, life. So then I had a conversation with my husband, and we tried to figure out how I could switch my schedule around a little bit so I could do more of what fills me up. And then when I did that, I could be more excited to be with my son. It would spill over. We'd go on exciting little adventure hikes where we spend an hour and a half to 2 hours in the forest and just go on fun hikes. And to this day, my son loves those moments. But those moments wouldn't have been possible if I didn't allow myself to follow my passion. Our passion for life stems from doing things that bring us joy. So when you do more of the things that bring you joy, it can spill over into your whole life, like every area of your life. And then people feel that. And then it's this really wonderful place. I find a lot of people I follow that have really successful businesses now started with doing something they loved just for fun. No, not thinking about bringing in money that way. Just doing it out of pure joy and love. And one of the people I can think of is Yoga with Adriene. I love following her for yoga. And I've heard her in an interview where she just started out doing this because she loved it. She just wanted to bring yoga to more people. So it's really incredible what can happen when you follow your passion. When you don't think about how can this turn into a career, you just start following it and see where it takes you and see how more fulfilling life can be, how more like your life can feel more joyful and exciting, and it can help you get out of bed in the morning when you have something you're so passionate about. So again, ask yourself, what do you love to do? Maybe go sit and just ponder that for a little bit. Just open yourself up to possibilities. Or maybe you already know and you just kind of let them go to the wayside, and that's okay too. Today we're stirring your passions awake and getting you excited about life again. Thank you so much for being here. I encourage you to, to take time for your passions, because they really do help you, have more fulfilling life. Again, thank you for being here. I am so grateful for you. If you want to, have updates or know what next episodes are coming up, please go over to my website, jodymisiak.com, and join my loving community, where I'll keep you updated on what's going on, what episodes are coming up, maybe episodes you've missed, and to show my appreciation for being a part of my community, I give you a free gift when you join. So I hope you come join me and my loving community. We are waiting for you. We would love to have you. You never have to go through life alone. Take care and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.